Good morning. How are y'all? Good. My name's Kelly. I'm with the school district. I'm the risk manager here at the district office, and we are so happy to have y'all. We have 7th and 8th graders, I believe. Is that right? From Georgetown Middle School. And we're also broadcasting this live to all the other middle schools and high schools throughout the district. So we're glad y'all are with us this morning. We have today Mr. Mike Dreiblatt he's from Vermont. He's come down to talk to us about bullying, and he's been with us for the past 2 days and speaking to parents and to the elementary school yesterday morning. So he also has been an elementary and middle school teacher, so he knows what it's like to be with you guys. So please welcome Mr. Mike, is what he likes to be called, and he's going to give us some information, what you can use about bullying, okay? So please give me your undivided attention.
All right. Just give me a second to get my mic set up here. Well, good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. So we're here to talk about how to stop bullying, cyberbullying, and social aggression. And I know that we have middle schoolers here. I'm aware that on the TV, we're going to have high schoolers who are going to be watching also. And for those of us in middle school, this is actually the peak bullying years. You guys are actually in the peak bullying years. For high school students, sometimes I feel a little bit badly about talking about bullying because they sometimes feel that it's something that happens to younger kids. So I am aware, those of you who are watching in the high school, that sometimes it feels like a younger subject. Even though the middle school years are your peak bullying years, we know that bullying continues into high school. We also know it happens younger than middle school. So I know who's in the audience, so I have a sense of who's here. How many have heard the word bullying before? All right, good. Hands down. How many bullying is a new word for you? Good. All right, I would have been very worried about you if you hadn't heard the word before. So we're all on the same page. So we all have the same information. When I'm talking about bullying, go back. Sorry. Somebody didn't set that up right. That would be me. My fault. So once again, so that we're all on the same page. So we all have the same information. When I'm talking about bullying, I'm talking about bullying is the abuse of the difference in power. Okay? Somebody has more power, somebody has less power, and those with more power are abusing those who have less power. Get the idea? All right. It's not two girls arguing about a seat on the bus. That's my seat on the bus. No, that's my seat on the bus. That's my seat on the bus. Fight, misbehavior, two equals going at it. It might even be funny if you're the one watching it. That's not bullying. Bullying, somebody has more power, somebody has less power, and those with more power really are abusing those who have less power. There's real pain that happens here. It's not a fair fight. It's not two equals arguing. It's not two boys. The ball was in bounds, the ball was out of bounds, the ball was in bounds, the ball was out of bounds. Fight, misbehavior, back and forth. That's not bullying. That's not bullying. Bullying, here, do it with me. Somebody has more power, do it with me, come on. Somebody has more power, somebody has less power, and those with more power are, oh man, that hurts. That's the point. It really is pain here. There really is pain. And I don't really know who's in the audience. I'm not really sure who's watching us on the TV. I'm not sure how many of you know each other or even talk with each other or friends. So back in the classrooms here, would you mind turning to the people next to you, in front of you, on the side of you, behind you? Just introduce yourself, say hello, let them know who you are. Alrighty then. Good job. Good job for. So in any bullying situation, if you think about it, there are three groups that are represented. You have the bully who starts off the dynamic. You have the bullied person who's the object of the dynamic. And then you have the crowd, the bystanders. It's actually the crowd, it's actually the bystanders that control everything. And think about whenever you've seen bullying or bullying has happened around you, if the crowd goes, yeah, go get him, Mike, fight, fight, fight. What happens? We got ourselves a fight, of course we do, of course. If the crowd goes, come on man, what are you doing? Come on, we don't do that here. Come on, let's go play basketball, let's go do something else. Bullying tends to go down, It's actually the crowd that controls everything. And there's actually different types of bullying that shows up. By the way, when I'm working with younger kids, I'll sometimes define bullying as being mean or leaving people out on purpose. It's the on purpose part that's really important here. And like I said, there's actually different types of bullying that shows up. There's abuse of the difference in power. There's different types that show up. You remember how you just said hello to those people next to you, in front of you, on the side of you, behind you? What I'm going to ask you to do is take a minute or two, talk with them, talk about different types of bullying you've seen or heard about. It could have happened at the school you're in now. It might have happened at a different school. Maybe you heard about it from a friend. It doesn't even mean that it was real. It could be from a book or a magazine or a TV show. You'll do that for about a minute. People back in the class, you're going to do that also. I'm then going to bring us back together. Questions? Okay, go to it. One more minute. Oh, you already quieted down. Well, normally I go around to lots of different schools. I travel all across the country. I'll sometimes be in an auditorium, and I'll have like 5 or 6 or even 700 kids with me. And sometimes I have to quiet these students down, and I use this. It's called a vibratone. Just basically a very large chime. And you guys are already quiet, but do you want to hear what it sounds like?
Yeah.
Okay. Isn't that nice? Nice? Like I said, sometimes I'll be in an assembly and I'll have 5, 6, 700 kids and I have to quiet them down. I'd rather use this than screaming out something horrible like, shut up, or something terrible like that. Don't really like to do that. So, for many of us, when we picture bullies, we kind of go to our cartoon kind of images. We kind of picture a physical bully. You know what I'm talking about, a cartoon character, some kind of Popeye Bluto kind of character, some big, large knuckle dragger, gonna meet you behind the slide, gonna pound you in the ground, gonna hurt you real bad, steal your milk money, kind of guy. You know what I'm talking about? There's actually some truth to this. There are physical bullies. They are absolutely real. Physical bullies are absolutely real. They are action-oriented. They use their bodies. They are not always the biggest. They are not always the strongest. But physical bullies are action-oriented. These are the pushers, the kickers, the spitters. the kneers, the elbows. Sometimes it's not even that they actually punch or kick or spit, but they make you think that they're gonna punch or kick or spit. You know what I'm talking about? There you are, you're hanging out in the hallway. There you are, you're by your lockers, and every day the same kid walks by and does one of these. You know, and there you are, you think they're going to touch you, and there you are kind of short-circuiting out in the hallway. They never actually do, but they make you think that, one of these, every day comes on by. Physical bullying, my experience has been middle school students and high school students too. This is the type of bullying we're most concerned with. Physical bullying is the type that we worry about because we're concerned about our bodies. And it makes sense to me. This is the type of bullying that we're most concerned with. And if you ever see these TV shows or movies, they will often show physical bullies. And sometimes on these TV shows, they show the most outrageous forms of physical bullying. And I have to tell you, some of it's true. There are kids who, get swirlies in the bathroom, somebody sticks their head in the toilet or something like that. It's true. There are kids who get de-pantsed in the cafeteria. But most of the time, don't go to such outrageous ways. Don't only think about the most outrageous. Physical bullying is also more subtle. Like, I'm looking out in the crowd, and I see a bunch of you have long hair. So imagine you're in class and there's that kid who sits behind you and they start blowing on your hair and you're like, stop it, stop it. They can blow on your hair, you can't blow on their hair. Imagine you're sitting in class and that student behind you starts whap, 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 starts kicking your chair, whap, whap, whap. Stop it, stop it. They can kick your chair, you can't kick their chair. They can reach into your desk, they can touch your supplies, you can't reach into their desk and touch their supplies. They go into your book bag, you're not allowed to go into their book bag. Go back to what we were talking about. Bullying is that abuse of the difference in power. And my experience has been, tell me if I'm right on this, my experience has been if there's a type of bullying caught at schools, it's often physical bullying. Have you noticed that? It kind of makes sense why. I mean, it's so obvious. Teachers, I'm going to talk about you for a second. Even new teachers to the school, when they see this, they're like, ooh, I've got to do something about that. That's not right. Teachers come running. It's true. Teachers don't always know what to do about physical bullying, but if there's a type of bullying caught at school, it's often physical bullying because it's so obvious. I mean, when teachers see that circle of students surrounding one student and that student can't get out of the circle, teachers come running. They're not always sure what to do, but if there's a type of bullying caught, it's often physical bullying. And statistically, physical bullying is the least common form of bullying. It's the one that teachers catch the most because it's so obvious, but it's actually the least common form of bullying. Far more common is something that's called verbal bullying. Here, the difference in power is the use of language. This is that kid who can come out like with 5 insults before you can even come out with one, and you come out with something like, oh yeah, well, you too, or something like that. Wow, how'd you come up with that one? Ooh, smoking, wow. Do you think it's by accident? Do you think it's by accident that this highly verbal student has gone after a less verbal student? Not by accident. Go back. Difference in power. The abuse of the difference in power. And my experience has been sometimes verbal bullies don't think of themselves as bullies. How can you call me a bully? I'm a funny guy. I'm a funny girl. I've got like 5 people over here laughing. How can you call me a bully? And they've got a point. There really are 5 people over here laughing. It's true, there really are 5 people laughing. But they don't notice it's always Steve that we make fun of. Steve is always the butt of the joke. And if Steve says anything back, you shut up, Steve. Can you feel the difference in power? Difference in power. And sometimes when I go over this stuff and I'm putting up the different types of bullies, I look out into the audience and I'll see all of a sudden kind of people are looking down or they're avoiding eye contact and they're like, what's going on for them? Why aren't they looking at me anymore? And I imagine what's happening is for some people, they're looking at the list and they're like, oh my gosh, I'm a bully. I'm a bully. I didn't think of myself as a bully, but it turns out I'm a bully. Oh my gosh, that's me up there. They're talking about me. if you happen to notice yourself on the list, if you're like, oh my gosh, I thought I was being funny, I was just joking around, it turns out I'm a bully. If you notice yourself up there, forgive yourself. Forgive yourself. I really mean it. I want you to forgive yourself. Look, we're in middle school, we're in high school, we are definitely